My babies don't knock the camera over. Say hello. Hello. Okay. Can you go have a seat? Good girl. Thank you. Hi. Welcome. If you're new here, I am about Perteets, or most people just call me Amber, which is totally fine. You call me whatever you want, but don't get crazy. I am the missus of the Perteets. That giveaway there. I am here to welcome you to our new YouTube channel. If you are an OG, welcome. What's going on, my friends and family? It's been one hell of a ride. Literally, it started all the way back in 2017, 2018 when we started this journey of being, do I want to say content creators? That's not what they were called back then. They were just called YouTubers, I think. But yeah, it's been a long journey from posting videos of just like of us doing mukbangs, doing different trends, from us starting to do videos and production like content for other clients, from other friends, to weight loss journey videos. I actually had a weight loss surgery back in 2021. I had the gastric bypass. I was over 400 pounds. I'm currently sitting at 196, so I lost over 200 pounds. Glory. From pregnancy journey to all of that. So long story short, we wanted to start over. We wanted to create a new space, a new platform. And when I say platform, I mean a new YouTube channel, and grow this organically, grow this because people love to see us, people can relate to us, people like to talk to us, and rather online and virtually or in person. We wanted to separate ourselves from our old or original YouTube channel because that had turned from personal to we started doing stuff with other people, and for some reason things don't always work out the way that you originally planned, which is totally fine. No harm, no foul. If you know, you know. So this new YouTube channel is strictly the Perteets. If you ask me, I have no interest of, and I'm treading really lightly in the sense of my next statement is I'm not in any space mentally or physically to try to do content for or with other people besides my husband. And when I say I'm treading lightly, because we don't know how far or how big or whatever the future holds with the Perteets YouTube channel. And the bigger you get, as far as more subscribers, more views, more likes, more comments, you get monetized and you start getting traction, you start getting visibility, and people want to reach out and collab with you, which is perfectly fine. So I'm not saying that I don't want to do that if that's where our path leads us to. I'm not gonna block our blessings. First video back into doing this. If it gets to a point where we do have opportunities for collaborations, amazing. Love that. Because at that point, those collaborations are literally so detailed and everyone's on the same page. There's quote unquote rules and regulations when it comes to collaboration. So again, I'm not going to block our blessings with that in the future. But for me and my husband, which you will meet if you don't already know Adrian, we're just here because we love to create videos. We love creating content. We like and we love, really honestly, talking in front of this camera. We are just in a point where we want to do what makes us happy. And what makes us happy is that we're together. We're creating things together. We literally have a passion for videography. And so this is where we start our new journey of this new YouTube channel. And when I say we want to grow this organically, I literally mean we want subscribers, we want likes, we want comments, because people generally can relate to us. They like what we put out there on YouTube, If you're new here again, welcome. I'm excited that you're here. If you're an OG, like I mentioned too, welcome back. Appreciate you for returning with us. Quick little, I guess you can say update, because this is what this video is. It's a welcome back plus pregnancy journey update. The first two videos that you will see on this YouTube channel are two videos that we brought over from the old YouTube channel. We brought them over here just so people can have an idea of who we are and what we were at in our process of becoming parents. Long story short, quick little history. We started trying for children back, I think, in 2020 or 2021. We were having difficulties, and at that point we went to my doctor. We actually go to Northwestern Memorial Hospital here in downtown Chicago, and we first started off doing IUI, which is intrauterine insemination, aka like an artificial insemination, where they take the man's sperm, clean it up, and then they enter that sperm into my uterus, and we try to see if we can get pregnant that way, because I wasn't getting pregnant at all, trying naturally. Part of that was because I was over 400 pounds. I was not ovulating actually, and so we had to take care of that first to even move forward with anything. So and when I say we, because Adrian was part of my journey too, with this weight loss. I actually had gastric bypass November 2021. Like I said, I was like 405. I think was the exact number of my highest weight was 405. July 2025, I am sitting at 196. So I lost over 200 pounds. I am finally ovulating. And so we did IUI. We did maybe like 3 or 4 cycles of IUI. Was not successful with that, in which we transitioned into IVF. You stimulate your body, or the woman's body, so that she can ovulate the most eggs at one period of time. And then they retrieve those eggs. They do tests on them. They make sure that they're good quality, good grade. And then they take his sperm and meet it with my eggs all in the lab. And after that, you have embryos. And at this point, we have 3 embryos in the bank. I believe, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 embryo transfers. I will put on the screen how many we actually have, because I can't remember. I have to look into my history to see how many transfers I've actually done. The very first, I believe, was one of the very first embryo transfers that we did. It actually was an ectopic pregnancy, which means that embryo had implanted outside of my uterus. At that point, it's not a viable pregnancy. So I remember that was a really hard hit for me mentally, because it's like, damn, like even though it was a very false pregnancy test result, it's to have that feeling, like it's like, oh my God, we're finally pregnant. Like that was the best feeling. But then what hurt even more was that to learn that it wasn't even going to be a viable pregnancy, which is, we grown from that, healed from that, which is fantastic. And so we did, like I said, 3 or 4 embryo transfers, and I was not getting pregnant. My doctor, she did tell us, like, hey, Amber, you have fibroids. They're a concern, but they're not a concern at the same time. Because she has had experience and she has had history with other patients, other women get pregnant with fibroids, she wanted to see if I was going to be able to have the same result before we even need to touch them going to surgery, because it takes time to recover, which is where that leads us to today. So July 3rd, I had a myomectomy, which is a fiber removal surgery. I had done a couple of scans, ultrasound scan and an MRI of my uterus, and it turned out that I had 5 fibroids. And I have one as big as a freaking grapefruit. Okay. it was measuring, I think, over 10 centimeters in width. So you could imagine, it's like, well, no wonder my freaking embryos were not doing what they need to, and they didn't have no space to get to where they needed to, because you have big old fibroids, these masses in the freaking way, you know. So I finally had the myomectomy, what that procedure is called. They removed the 5 fibroids. I also learned, we're just looking over the summary of how the surgery went. They also found a rent, which is a small tear in my fallopian tube, which they went ahead and they fixed it. They stitched it up and were great with that. So the doctor had one in there, in my uterus and in my ovaries and my fallopian tubes, and make sure there was nothing blocking. Everything looks good, he said. I'm gonna show you what these freaking fibroids look like. If you are queasy, please be mindful. What I'll do is I'll post a picture on the screen of the fibroids here. Okay. That biggest one, do you see that biggest one? That biggest one is insane. Do you understand what I'm saying? Insane. And I'm only going to keep that picture of the fibroid maybe up for like 5-7 seconds, just so that if you don't want to see it, you can fast forward a little bit. So that's that fibroid. That's 5 fibroids there in that bowl that you see. Again, one was as big as a grapefruit. The other ones were like an apple and then a strawberry. So they weighed them all, the 5 fibroids that they took out, and that those fibroids were weighing in at 1 pound, like 1.1 pound, which is insane. Like, really, guys. The good thing is that I'm currently off of work recovering. Because with this surgery, I had an abdominal myomectomy. So I have an incision across my lower abdomen. It looks like a C-section scar if you look at it. So with this surgery, I have to be completely off of work for 2 weeks. And then from week 2 all the way through week 6, I either have to be completely off of work or with light duty. With current job situations, and if you know, I don't want to freaking get into that, but I'm just completely off the 6 weeks of work, so that my body can heal, because if I did have the opportunity to go back to work, I did have to be put on light duty, because until my 6 weeks is up, I can't do any strenuous activities. I can't even really work out, because I'd like to do weightlifting. I can't do that because I can't lift anything heavier than 10 pounds. I can barely bring the groceries in, and sometimes I can't even do that because Adrian has to do that because it feels heavy to me. I'm grateful that I have the time off to recover. I'm grateful that I still have a job that I can go to after my 6 weeks of recovery. It's just, I have to give myself grace that although I am quote unquote getting bored at home, I've been home now for 3 weeks since having surgery. I can't do much. I'm trying to occupy my time, and I figured this would be a great time to start a routine up with vlogging with you guys, stuff like that. I'm doing well. I feel very hopeful, very excited, because when I look at these pictures of these fibroids, I'm like, why did we do this sooner? It's what I'm thinking. But I understand, right, in the aspect of if we don't have to do the surgery, then let's not do it, because it's going to delay us even further of even trying to get pregnant. Because like I mentioned before, I have to go at least 3 months. I need to do whatever I need to do of not trying to get pregnant, because I allow my body to heal. I'm just honestly grateful that I have a peaceful home. I'm so and I feel like people take that for granted so much, but I am so grateful that my home is so peaceful that I can literally recover mentally and I can recover physically for these 6 weeks and not be in a chaotic situation, a chaotic household. Yeah, so welcome back. Welcome to the new and improved, the Perteets. That's my update for now. I forgot to mention that before the myomectomy, which is the removal of the fibroids, They mean the doctor for the fibroid doctor, he wanted to do another IVF cycle for 2 reasons. Number 1 was to get another embryo in the bank. So now we have 4 embryos in the bank. Shawty, what you drank? Ready for you, ma'am. And number 2, it'll be helpful for the IVF cycle because of the size of my ovaries, all the medication, all the stimulation medication for the IVF. And so that is that. So we have 4 embryos in the chamber. We have 4 embryos in the bank. I'm currently healing. I'm feeling well physically and mentally. We're just here. We're grateful for having another day. We're grateful for having air in our lungs. We're here. So welcome to our new and improved, better than ever, the Perteets. So until the next time, we'll see you later.